Good morning, Lightmiser here, aka Kimball. For the 10th video in this series, I've been kind of building towards this. I want to talk about mentorship, and I think it was my second or third video, I was talking about books to read. One of the books there that I really enjoyed was Think and Grow Rich, and one of the things they talked about in there was mentorship. And if you can find a mentor in your field or in something you're interested in that you can actually have a real world relationship with, that's of course the best environment there. But oftentimes that's not an option. And one of the things that the book talks about is studying people in history or people that are around you that are successful in an endeavor that you're interested in, and using the information that they have that they've put out there as a type of mentoring. It's kind of just a groupthink mentoring approach to it. When I mentioned several years ago I was interested in getting into real estate, and as part of that, I was doing a lot of research online on in books I've read and whatnot on getting more familiar with the real estate markets, how to get into it, how to operate them properly. And one of the guys I fell into on YouTube is a guy named Kevin Pathrath. He goes by Meet Kevin. I'll have a link to his social media down below. And he's actually got several channels that he runs now, and he's got a startup that's a real estate investment startup that I find very intriguing. I'm not part of yet, but at some point I hope to be. But I'd really started watching him quite often leading into the COVID lockdowns. And once the lockdowns hit, I was asked to work from home. And I usually have videos or whatnot going during the day. Just, I'm ADD, undiagnosed, I know it. So I've got to have music or movies or something going on in the background to keep my attention focused. And through his recommendations, especially with what the world was experiencing, it kept me from getting into real estate rentals at that moment, which saved my bacon, because when the U.S. Department of Health came in and started doing moratoriums on rent, I would have lost my shirt. Being a new rent owner, I would absolutely have lost my shirt on an investment. So glad I didn't get in then. And of course, it led me down the way of getting into rentals in a lower cost market through the Airbnb trailers I have. But he also does a lot on investments, and I actually made quite a bit of money with some of his recommendations as he was watching the markets change due to lockdown. I ended up making a lot of money off of Carnival and Royal Caribbean when they went from a $50 valuation down to $15. Bought a bunch of that and then sold it off when it went back up. Made good profit there. I also was able to finally get into some Disney stock when it hit rock bottom. Of course, hasn't done a lot of rebounding because of the crap that they keep doing, but it's one of those companies that I've always been interested in because of growing up in the movie industry, and then we're also doing work in the theme park industry. And so the couple shares I have at Disney I've held on to specifically so that I'm part of the shareholders meetings, so I know what's going on within and what they're working on. I find that intriguing. And I'm sure at some point I'll sell it off, but hopefully after they're able to right their ship after Iger's gone. It's a whole nother story. Anyway, and then over the ensuing years, another YouTuber that I fell in line with that I've come to really enjoy is Cody Sanchez, who I mentioned about with the ice maker. It's how I found out about the ice makers and became intrigued in that industry. There was one other one I wanted to mention. I'm trying to remember who it was now. The Economic Ninja and Real Estate Ninja. Same guy, two different channels. Economic Ninjas, who challenged us that listened to do the 10 days, 10 videos. And his focus is on economics, on preparing yourself, especially with the changes that are coming in the real estate market, being prepared for that, and being prepared to really dominate during this next economic cycle that we're starting. We're past inflationary times now. We're in a recession. About half usually the economicists will look back and after a year, 6 months to a year, say, "Oh yeah, we're now in a recession." So a lot of the guys that follow that are very hesitant to put their names out there, but there's a good number that have made it. We're in recessionary times, and with what happens with the housing market over the next 6 to 9 months, we are in danger of a depression. Don't shy away from it. Be prepared for it. And if you prepare yourself correctly with getting this information, a lot of millionaires were made during the last depression. Not to say that they were evil guys, they just had themselves prepared with a solid base leading into it, and then looked for opportunities during it. And that's what my focus is. What I've been trying to get myself ready for. I ran for city council a year and a half ago, and I'm very fearful for our city because they're focused on. We were in one of the fastest growing counties in the United States for years, but the city is got this mindset that the growth will always be there. The fees and taxes from that construction will always be there, and when things really hit, they're going to be hurting. Because I was recommending cut. They've got a 90-day slush fund. That's it. I was saying put in a 10% emergency fund, 10% what your budget is, and keep that. There's going to be a rude awakening within the city over the next year. I believe that for a while, but that also translates to your home. You should have 10% set aside, ready for whatever hits. Another mentor is Dave Ramsey. And for those that have studied Dave Ramsey's and Robert Kiyosaki, it's a bit of a dichotomy that I follow both. But they really, if you get down they don't diverge until you get up into the upper levels of finances. They both say you've got to get out of debt. The Dave Ramsey approach is just get out of debt, stay out of debt. Kiyosaki's approach is get out of debt, clean up your credit rating. Then when you have business opportunities, use debt to obtain real estate to grow business, and within reason. There's discussion both ways on that. I see power and in both ways, but I think there's room for both. But at this base level, especially with what we're heading into, get out of debt. Whether you care about the credit rating or not, that doesn't. It's get out of debt, get out of consumer debt. And I haven't been great about that consumer side I have been, but because the business stuff that I've been involved with. But I'm a big believer, got to get out of debt, got to clean that up. So anyway, with that's the end of these 10 video challenges. I want to keep in this process of continuing to make videos. I don't know if it'll be daily. It'll probably be a couple days a week. I have seen that what I've talked about with my trailers that's gathered a decent amount of interest with a number of video watches. So I'll probably dig into the ATM or stuff like that. And if you guys want to leave any comments about anything that that I've talked about that you have more interest in, throw a comment in there. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to go deeper in any of that. All the regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, notifications, and with that, have a good day.